everyone, I'm Miss M. Welcome to AICE Psych. And today we're going to do a quick video on Dement and Kleitmen, and we're only going to talk about the sample and the variables. Really important, but we're going to get a little in depth to it. So let's go. All right, the sample and Canley, it's not really talked about in the book, but we're going to say that it's a self-selected or volunteer sample. Now, we don't know how our participants knew about this, but there's no reason to believe that there was deception in the study because it doesn't say it in the ethics. So we're going to assume that our participants knew kind of exactly what they were in for, that they were going to be going to a lab and they were going to be sleeping and being tested on dreams. Okay. Honestly, it's not that important that we know the demographics of our participants. At least we have a female in there. But the reason it's not important is because dreaming, well, I won't say dreaming, take that back. Sleeping is something that we all do. We all need to do. All humans do. I believe all animals do, but if I'm wrong, just write it down if you know an animal that doesn't sleep. Anyway, we all sleep. It's a physiological process. It's a natural physiological process. So in saying that, we're kind of all linked. It's not like we have there's a population of people that don't sleep, so we can't, generalize this information to them. That's not it. Okay, we all sleep. So again, the how and who these people were, not that important. Now, we did originally have 9 participants in the study, but a few of them, only did 1 or 2 days in the study. So I believe we ended up with 5 total, and one of them was a female. So lucky in that we do still have both genders in here by the skin of our teeth, but we still have both genders. Okay. So yeah, that's it for the sample. I wouldn't stress too much about trying to describe this sample, but it would be really cool for you to know and be able to explain that it's not really important because we all sleep. Okay. So let's look at our dependent and our independent variable. Now we have different aims, and within each aim in Dement and Kleitmen, we actually have different independent and dependent variables. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into the 4 aims that we see in the book. Your book might only talk about 3 aims, but there were 4. The 4th aim, which I'll talk about, was just kind of like supplemental. We already had the information, so let's just see if we can find a correlation. Okay, now in the first aim, our independent variable is REM or non-REM, which REM is that period where the wavelengths are really short and they mimic those awake waves, those alpha waves. So REM is in that small period of time. Non-REM is all the other stages, everything else except for dreaming. Okay. And within that aim, we basically are measuring whether people are dreaming or not. So it's repeated measures design. Remember that. So people had spent time in REM and were woken up and asked, were you dreaming? And they had spent time in non-REM and were woken up and asked, are you dreaming? And we're basically trying to find a correlation between people saying, yes, I was dreaming in REM and not in non-REM. Okay, because in non-REM, we basically want to see that people are not dreaming. All right. Okay, independent variable for aim 1 is REM versus non-REM, and we are measuring the number of dreams recalled. Okay, so for the second aim, we have the 5 and the 15-minute increments. What does that mean? Well, we wanted to see if people could understand or dream we want to know if people dream in real time, right? Have you ever had a dream and it just seemed to go on forever and ever and ever? So what did we do? We let people dream for 5 minutes, or we let them stay in REM for 5 minutes, and then we woke them up and said, how long do you think you were dreaming for? And we were hoping that their answer was somewhere close to 5 minutes. But then we're not going to wake them up again and say, were you dreaming in how long were you dreaming, and do another 5-minute increment, because they might be expecting that. So we randomly let them sleep in 15 minutes of REM, and then we'd wake them up and say, how long are you dreaming? And we're basically trying to see that second time, in that 15-minute increment, they said they were dreaming longer than that first increment of the 5 minutes. Then we can basically tell, but if someone said I was dreaming for an hour, and and it was only 15 minutes. It wasn't too close, but we didn't have too much of that. Most people were around like 10 or 20 minutes in there when they guessed for that 15 minutes of dreaming. Now, our dependent variable, we're basically trying to measure how many times people could get it correct. Were you in the 5-minute group? Were you in the 15-minute group? How long were you dreaming for? Were you correct or not? So that's just our dependent variable for that second aim. Were they right? How long were you dreaming? 6 minutes. You did great. Good. Check mark. Okay, that's what we're measuring in that one. In the third aim, now this is the only aim that has qualitative data. It's going to be subjective, okay, because we're dealing with the content of someone's dreams. Now, our independent variable for aim 3 is the direction of eye movement. That could either went horizontal or vertical or a combination of both or none. Okay, those are the 4 categories they could have been part of. Now, what were we measuring? The content of their dream. So our EEG machine is able to tell us what direction their eyes are moving. And then we take that information and we sit there with them and we say, please tell me about your dream. And we are going to write down qualitative data. We're going to write down what their dream was. Then the researcher bias here, the researcher gets to put that dream in a category. Ooh, I'm going to say this. Ooh, they're playing soccer and they're running around on a field. So I'm going to put this in the horizontal group. Oh, this person is rock climbing. So I'm going to put this in the vertical group. This person is just walking around a group of people and they were talking and looking up at the sky. So I'm going to put this in the both group. Now, I mentioned the fact that this is subjective and we have a bias here that is really important to understand. Go look at my Dement and Kleitmen video. If you don't understand that, I go into depth in detail on that. Okay. Now, our fourth aim, there's really no independent variable, but what we were looking for, we wanted to see a correlation between the amount of words someone spoke to narrate a dream and the length that we were letting people sleep. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, if I have a dream and let's say they let me sleep in REM for 30 minutes and I wake up and I tell them my dream and it's like 25 words. You're gonna be like, compared to someone, maybe I say I have a 5-minute dream and I have 25 words. Well, that doesn't make so much sense because your dream was so much longer. You really should have more to say about it, right? It'd be like an experience in the world. If you spent an hour of your time at the park, you will have an hour's worth of things to say about it, opposed to spending 5 minutes at the park. You'll have 5 minutes worth of stuff to say. Okay, so they're basically trying to find that correlation. Longer dream, more words. All right, so there you have it, Dement and Kleitmen. We have our self-selected sample, volunteer down to 5 people. And we have our different aims with different independent variables. If you're really confused on this, go look at my other video. I talk about different aspects of Dement and Kleitmen. It might help you to understand these different aims. But again, we have 4 different aims, 3 different independent variables, 4 different dependent variables. Okay, we're always measuring something, whether or not there's an independent variable or not. Okay, so thanks for listening today. If you need a little extra help, send me an email at apsychology9990@gmail.com. I have a Google Classroom that has a plethora of material in it. So if you want access to that, all you have to do is send me a message and say, can I have access to your Google Classroom? And I'll send you an invite. All right. So for now, have a great day and thanks for watching.